Well, the impact of job loss is being felt nationwide, especially among black women in the labor force. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, in February, more than 10.5 million black women were employed. But by June, that number dropped below 10.3 million. That's a loss of more than 300,000 employees in just months. Some of that job loss can be attributed to cuts in the federal workforce and the dismantling of DEI programs in the public and private sectors. Gender economist Katika Roy joins us now. She recently wrote an article for MSNBC that examined black women leaving the labor force, and she joins us now with more on what she found. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
300,000 black women leaving the workforce in 3 months sounds like an alarming number. How and why did this happen? And why do you say it's not a coincidence?
Well, the job cuts, yeah, it's a good question. So if we take a step back, this is an economic alarm bell. You know, the primary piece that we are seeing is the federal job cuts and the agencies that were actually targeted for those cuts, which such as education and healthcare, which are predominantly employed black women. So, for instance, if you look at women's labor force participation and the percentage of black women in the labor force, they make up about 6% of the labor force, but 12% of federal jobs.
Wow. And we've certainly seen that loss, and we felt that loss locally for sure with the federal reduction. What kind of impact? So we talked a little bit about the economic effect. What kind of impact is the loss of black women in the workforce having locally, nationally? I mean, what does it mean for the future when it comes to things like student loans, home ownership, and building generational wealth?
And that's a great point. So one of the things that we know is for every percentage point of women leaving the labor force, it actually hits GDP at about $164 billion. So in other words, the connection is 1% equals about 146 billion GDP loss. But then we have things such as housing, the spillover effects that you were talking about, housing, healthcare, education, et cetera. And we've seen that even with inflation, right? So black women on average earn 64 cents on the dollar, but the inflation rate as of last week is 3 times that for women's goods and services.
Let me ask you, while all of this news seems very, very bleak, is there an upside? How do we go about reversing this trend?
Well, one of the things that we assume is that policy is gender neutral. It's not. It's gender ignorant. And what I mean by that is when we make these cuts, we're assuming that it's gender neutral. It isn't. It's gender ignorant. And the issue is that it impacts everyone. It doesn't only impact black women, it impacts the entire economy. Just as one example, between 1970 and 2016, women increasing their labor force participation added $2 trillion to the U.S. economy. When we see black women leaving the labor force, we're actually shrinking our economy.
Wow. And as you wrote, that affects every single one of us. So when we talk about that big number again, 300,000 women, black women leaving the workforce in just a couple of months, what sort of trends did you see? Are they out of the workforce? Are they becoming entrepreneurs? Where are these 300,000 women going? What are they doing now?
That's a great question. We don't really know. What we can look at from historical data is that there are 2 things that are probably happening. One is that they are becoming entrepreneurs, so small business owners. That's one piece. Or they're joining the informal economy. So they may not be participating in the formal economy, which is tracked by things like the monthly jobs report, but they're participating in the informal economy.
Let me just ask a last question here. For the many women who are watching right now who are in this space, what would you tell them? What would your advice to them be?
Tell your story. I would say stand up and speak out. We need the stories that I have heard just from publishing this article 5 days ago are incredible, and we need to hear your voices, and we need you. This is not just an issue of equity or fairness. This is actually an issue of economic opportunity for everyone.
All right. Gender economist Katika Roy, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your perspective.
Hey family, you're back for another video with Black Lives Count. And they do. Black Lives Count, baby. And you know this. So family, I want to talk about the 300,000 black women, between 300,000 and 400,000 black women is being estimated to have left the workforce. And we know, family, that this is done by design. These women just didn't pick up. Some of them may have went off and started businesses or something like that. But these women, most of these women were pushed out of their positions, uh, due to all the biases, the racism, the systematic racism, the sexism, and just all the ignorance that is going on right now. And actually, family, it's really been going on. Okay, but right now we know that the Republicans are at the forefront. You know, the Democrats have played a part in it as well, because when the DEI and the affirmative action really did not benefit black women. Okay, it was all other groups that were benefiting from the affirmative action and the DEI, but it was supposedly created for black people because of all of the systemic racism. But we were the least that were the beneficiaries of it. Okay, so I mean, that just goes without saying. But I got an article, family, that I'm going to read a little snippet from NBC News, okay? And it goes like this. It says approximately 300,000 black women have lost jobs, a phenomenon tied directly to structural shifts, policy decisions, and economic biases, not by random chance. These job losses are symptomatic of broader systematic racism and sexism, revealing how fragile progress can be when lacking institutional protections. Is this actually systematic racism? Yes. Black women often face occupational segregation and undervalued and less secure jobs. Okay, when they are in undervalued and less secure jobs, and these can be jobs like fast food jobs, hospitality jobs, and things like that. We see on social media sites how a lot of these young people, young women, black women, are treated at these fast food restaurants. We've seen uh, idiots jump over counters and try to jump on them, or all kind of stuff. We have saw this come through the drive-through window and try fighting them and stuff. But you would have one time to come behind that counter or in that drive-through window. If I was working there, that would be all you get. You don't get no more. Cuts to federal roles and DEI programs disproportionately affect Black women due to historic overrepresentation in these areas. Despite overall job growth, Black women's participation has declined, demonstrating economic gains do not reach all groups equally. Analysis estimate these job losses have wiped out as much as $37 billion from the GDP. And the GDP, for those of you who don't know, is the gross domestic product, okay? Reflecting how systematic deinvestment strains communities. And see, as the lady said in the interview, okay, this is going to affect. not only the Black American women or the Black women, this is going to affect so many others. And this is so stupid. See, you know, we have these people in office that are not equipped to deal with, um, you know, running things. They're just not. And they make all of these kinds of mistakes. It's like my mother used to say, cutting off your nose despite your face. So you're gonna cut off your nose and then you can't breathe. Who are you hurting? They're gonna hurt uh the market. They really are. They're gonna hurt it because a lot of other people are gonna be overwhelmed with work. You can believe that. Okay. It goes on to say, uh, but we can rebuild by rebranding ourselves, even if it means taking your talents abroad. We can You can apply. There are international companies online that are actually looking for people. You know, brush up your resumes. Some of you ladies, I know Black women that are directors, that are assistant directors. I know some Black women that are regional directors. I know some Black women, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Brush up, polish off your resume because a lot of Black women have been in their roles for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because that's consistency, and that's what we are. We're consistent. So brush up on your resumes, your cover letters. Um, we can also rebrand ourselves. You can go out there and get a new certification for something, like a notary or something. Get a skill, okay? We can do things like go and get a retraining, get a training for a trade. You know, learn to do accounting or learn to do something that data processing. I don't know. Learn to do something else that maybe will make you more marketable in the workforce. You know what I'm saying? Where you can get out there and do something. And another thing, and this should have been the first thing, you can start a business. Family, you can start a business. We have to get more independent. The time has come now. See, we don't have any more time to play. And this could be the best thing that is going to be for the Black community, because now this puts us, they think, at a disadvantage. But now think about that. If we, the Black spending habit is like, I think it's a 2 or 3 trillion dollar trend. See, family, that spending that we're doing, we need to take that money. We need to invest. We can invest it in community projects. We can invest it in an individual project, like I said, starting a job. We can invest it in stocks. You got to learn. Now, if you don't know what you're doing, maybe you can find somebody who can teach you. My ex husband was very, very skilled at that, at trading and stuff like that. He would do day trading. You know, there's so many things we can do, family, but we're going to have to do what we're going to have to do. Before, our people, our ancestors, pulled themselves up and they were not given any boots or bootstraps. They made boots, okay? They made boots so that they could walk and do this and do whatever they needed to do. And they did pull themselves up. And this is what this government hates to see, that we have pulled ourselves up. So now they want to try to kick us back down to where they want us to. But family, we're great people when they get like this. This is when we really pull together and we start doing for self. We need to do for self. And this time when they kind of come and try to destroy it, we be ready for them. That's what we're going to have to do, family, until we get out of here. And for those that want to get out of here. Because I know for damn sure I'm sick of this place. And I think if we get ourselves together and finally leave, it'll be destroyed. I think we're in the way of the Most High destroying this place. That's what I think. So maybe we need to just get out the way. But it has come time now for us to do for self. So now we can, like I said, a couple of sisters can get together and get some information. What is that? The For the truck drivers, I forget what they call it, but they run the trucking gigs and stuff. We can get to. It's so many things that we can do. They cannot hold us back. Only we can hold ourselves back. But I thank you so much, family, for joining me today for this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And please keep coming back. For the new subscribers, we are welcoming, we are loving, we are family here. And we like to chop it up in the comments. And for my old subscribers, I really thank you guys. I appreciate you. And for those of you that just come and watch, please like and subscribe. You're coming and watch it, you need to like and subscribe, okay? Because we want you over here. We want you as part of the family. All right, family, you take care, and we appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings to you, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.